My warm congratulations to all my students. Today I celebrate a very fine sonnet of William Shakespeare, sonnet number 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? We shall discuss Shakespeare's sonnet number 18, which is entitled To His Love by F.T. Palgrave. Palgrave. This is the book of Palgrave, which is entitled, I have already shown to you the name of the books by F.T. Palgrave in his The Golden Treasury. The growth of love group replaces the marriage and reproduction theme of the first 17 with that of the poetic love. For the young man who has become his friend. Once William Shakespeare was a petty actor, one of the rogues and vagabonds. His father didn't know how to write a letter. At the first moment, we shall discuss the composition of the sonnet. The question, when the sonnets were written, is perhaps the most important of all the unanswerable questions they pose. If it could be answered definitely and finally, there might be some chance of establishing to the greatest satisfaction the identity of friends, dark comment, the rival poet of friend, and we know the dark lady, the rival poet of determining whether the order of the quarto is the author's or not. The dating of the main body of the sonnets has often been influenced by which candidate and the role of the young man, Southampton or Pembroke. A critic happened to espouse the early dates for Southampton, who was just 19 years old in 1592, and later date 1598 for Pembroke, who was only 12 years in the year 1592. It is also assumed the sonnets were not written at one particular period. And now we shall know something about the identity of the friend. The handsome, not hand, handsome. The pronunciation of the word is handsome, not hand. The handsome young man to whom sonnet number from 1 to 126 are addressed is still shrouded in mystery. considering the pros and cons of the claims of both Southampton and Pembroke, we come to conclusion the former is the friend. We have tried to know the identity of W.H. Mr. W.H. was a gentleman of a great position. Here, Mr. M.R. Mr. indicates master in those days, a term used for persons of recognized status and society. From a Master of Arts at the University of a night, the Countess of Southampton, mother of Shakespeare's only patron, Earl of Southampton, refers to her third husband, Sir William Harvey, as Master Harvey. Mr. W.H. is this Sir William Harvey. So, from this discussion, we learn the identity of W.H. And now we shall know something about the identity of Dark Lady. The second series of Shakespeare's sonnets is written from the serial number 127 to 152 is written to a dark lady who stole the poet's and his friend's heart. Shakespeare's sonnets are a hotbed of problems and the critics. 153 and 154 are addressed to Cupid, the Roman god of love. And we shall know something about the analyzation of the sonnet number 18. The speaker's friend is a lovely young man. In character, he is moderate, tempered, as compared with summer days. Rough winds spoil the beautiful flowers of summer. The sun shines very brightly in the sky. Sometimes the sun goes behind the clouds. Besides, the season lasts for a very brief period. In this world, all mortal things are subject to change and decay. The poet expresses his desire to protect his friend's beauty. But the young man's, who is poet's friend, youth and beauty shall never fade, nor can death touch them when the speaker's forces will enter in this series. This will eternize them. The poet's confidence is that so long as men live and have the power to read the sonnet cell number 18, written to commemorate the friend's youth and beauty, will endure and give him an eternal lease of life. The simplicity and loveliness of Shakespeare's praise of his beloved has guaranteed its place as one of the most favorite loved sonnets of Shakespeare. The poem "Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day" starts with a rhetorical question. It is one of the most famous of Shakespeare's sonnets. It is both lyrical and dramatic, with perfect structure. This is also a unique creation, quite simple, with an intense appeal of emotion. The opening line, "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day," is a question, and the rest of the poem is a total answer. It is the poet's tribute to his young and beautiful friend, who is the perfect embodiment of the Platonic conception of archetypal beauty. It remains untouched by the death's icy hands. It sounds the theme of immortality assured through poetry. It illustrates the high idealism of love. The young man's love is the most precious thing in poet's life. He wills to eternize the object of love in his verse. Love in itself is mortal, but love is embodied in a work of art is idealized and so deathless. The loveliness, calmness of summer pales into insignificance as compared with the young man's. There are sometimes storms, violent winds which blow down the lovely parts, buds, lovely parts of May. The poet uses the legal image, lizard, to bring home to the reader the point of summer's short duration have made the poem very, very important to us. To the reader, it is very interesting. The duration of the sonnet is very brief, short. Sometimes the owner of land, garden often allows another to use it. Likewise, nature allows lease to summer only for a short term. The poet in this poem images the sun as the eye of heaven. Often dark clouds appear in the sky to cover the bright sunny sun. The sun is imaged as a person with golden colored face. We know the face is the index of mind, but poet's friend has beauty that is free from such blemishes as characterize the sun. Now listen to this sonnet. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day in a prosaic form? It will be very, very helpful to you. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? You are more beautiful and well-tempered than the summer's day. Rough winds spoil the lovely blossoms of summer season. The season is all too short-termed. The duration of summer is very brief. Next, we learn the prosaic form from 4 lines next. At times, the sun shines too hot, and often it is overcast by clouds, and the beauty of every beautiful thing or person decays. Sooner or later, by accident or natural decay inherent in all things. And now we shall know something in prosaic form, final 4 lines. But your eternal summer shall not fade, not be dispossessed of its beauty, nor shall death boast of possessing you, when my forces will make it eternal, immortal. And the last 2 lines, so long as men live, Our eyes can see the sonnet with their endurance and give you an eternal lease of life. Nothing on earth is constant. Like the pole star, the beauty of every beautiful thing of person decays sooner or later by stroke of external misfortune. Time spoils a beauty of a beauty. The first fair is a concrete noun, meaning a fair person or thing. The second fair, an abstract noun, meaning beauty. The fairness that his friend possesses will never be lost. Even death, which post it drags all earthly things into its dark valley, where ghost wander cannot lay its icy hand on him. So long as man live on earth in this world, they can read poetry, that is, the sonnet, will confer immortality on his beautiful young friend face, world's fresh ornament. This immortality through verses, theme was a commonplace with the sonnet written in a very fine rhythms, and the writers of the time follows a style. It was the fashion of the age of Shakespeare. The sonnet is magnificent, through from the perfect beauty of the opening quatrain to the sweep and rush of the triumphant final couplet. The rhythms are parried with the subtlest skill. The majestic line is but the eternal summer shall not fade. Shakespeare has not given separate titles in his sonnets, which he wrote in his time. They are identified with the serials of occurrence. In Thomas, the right pronunciation is Thomas. I spoke to all my readers just for fun a fine story of the pronunciation of the word Thomas, Thomas. A reader who comes regularly, he says Thomas, and a reader who doesn't come regularly, he says Thomas. Theta. Very interesting. So, the occurrence of the sonnets 154 in Thomas Thorpe's quarto edition published in 1609. There are 3 quatrains in this sonnet and a couplet. Couplet, couplet. One quatrain is of 4 lines and one couplet is of 2 lines. So, there are 14 lines, and it is known as Shakespearean sonnet. It will be helpful concept if we know something about the geographical sense of a land or area, particularly about the European summer, which is greatly appreciated for its warmth. Sun is shining and beauty, because European countries are mainly cold. June, July, and August make European summer season with long sunny days, occasional thunderstorms, but it is the warmest season, and average temperature is of 18 to 20 degrees Celsius or more. But in India, it is not appreciated at all for its scorching heat and heat oil. So, you have to know we are going to read the sonnet number 18, depending upon the weather of Europe. Now we shall discuss something personal elements and the sonnet. Much has been written about the personal elements in the poem, about the friend and about the fair young man and the dark lady who figures in the other sonnets. Whatever this may be, sonnets remain as the monuments of devoted love. Shakespeare transcends the personal touch and raises it to the level of the universal. To be addressed to the young friend at the finest of the lot, their excellence lies in rare beauty of the images, style, and the perfection of the versification, which has a subtle beauty never to be surpassed. Now, I shall endeavour, just for a few moments, to characterize the language of the greatest master. Who is the master? William Shakespeare, of English poetry, and make some observations in regarding to poetic and archaic language. The greatness of Shakespeare's mind is not shown by the fact that he was acquainted with 20,000 words, but by the fact he wrote about so great a variety of subjects, be it a part of geography or be it a part of history, and touched upon so many human facts and relations that he needed 20,000 words in his writings. It must be remembered that when he uses thou, THU, thou, and thee, THEE, which are now parts of the conventional language of poetry, were everybody colloquialisms in the Elizabethan period. The pronoun for the second person is in prose you for both cases, in both numbers, feature in many works of poetry. It is thou and thee for the singulars. Okay, I hope interested Shakespearean readers, examiners like you, and general readers will be amply benefited more and more. Lastly, my thanks must go to my dearest and nearest students and conscious guardians. Next we meet again, if God allows us, for more and more questions and clarifications of the lines or words of the sonnets, known as Shakespearean Sonnets. Many thanks to all of you.